the listing what is White Zetsu, Don, uh Conan, Gatora, then all the pain then Sasori, then Pain, then then Kisame. Yeah, I know it might seem a little ratty to put the Diamond Boy up there. I know.
Oh,
And then there's Obito, and then at number one I have Itachi.
yeah, I would revise that if I were you, for sure. Kakuzu lost to not even MS. Well, not lost to, but had a tough time with base strong on Kakashi and lost to Russian Shuriken Naruto. Kisame would solo them. Pain would solo them. Itachi would solo them. Obito would. It's not. I'd revise
Yeah.
that if I were
Not
you.
only that, it stated verbatim by hit on that he's like the slowest, when it comes to like attack speed, blah
Yeah.
blah. And it's shown consistently that Kakuzu is relative to that same hit on. I'm not saying that like, oh, Kakuzu is the same exact speed, but he's basically in a similar ballpark. He's not like too
Yeah.
far off of a difference either. Like the same, like hit on's going to show blow for blow with Kakashi. Kakuzu does the same thing. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Even with everybody else, like they're basically in the same speed ballpark. So like, if you're doing it based on speed, Kakuzu is literally pretty relative. I'm not like if you want to like be annoying, you could say equal and kind of downplay him in a bit. But I'm not going to be that. I'll say he's at least faster a little bit, but it's not by like a large margin. And so if you're doing it based on speed, Coxie would definitely be one of the slowest people. He's not the fastest.
No, not even
Even with his
close.
tentacles and everything, like it's stated in the data books that he has no blind spots. So meaning it wasn't an off guard attack. It
It
wasn't an
wasn't.
element of surprise. Okay, it was meaning that Naruto moved so fast twice, remind you, to where he was able to speed blitz him. And this is further supported because in the manga it just shows like his body when Naruto lands the first hit, like just facing in front of him. But in the anime, it actually shows him turning, so he
Yeah.
has plenty of time to react. He turns around, and then he still can't do anything. And the Naruto would have hit him and killed him, but it fizzled. So
Yeah.
like he has enough reaction speed to do something, but not enough to like get out of the way or get out of the attack. Like just
Yeah.
enough to just move and maybe like I don't know, move a fucking tentacle or something, but it's not going to be enough, and he just gets hit either way. So, and not only that, it's not an excuse from him being behind or whatever, because we see Shikamaru being able to dodge Kakasu from behind, and he had no idea he was there. We've seen Naruto do with Haku. It's shown millions of fucking times in the show Naruto and Shippuden that you can dodge an attack if someone's behind you. It's
Yeah.
shown many, many fucking
Off guard
times.
is very. It's very rare that you see an off guard situation. Off guard situation is Jubidar and Zetsu. Although that's still bullshit, but
Literally,
that was off guard. So, but
or
Kakuzu
like
was not off
Mhm.
guard.
Hashirama Madara too. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Look, Kakuzu was never caught off guard. He just failed to react due to
Like
insufficient
even
speed.
even Kakashi, like
Yeah.
yeah, he couldn't sense him, but like if someone's charging at you at a certain speed, okay, you'll eventually be able to detect their presence. You know what I mean? Like you should
Yeah.
be able to pick up at least on
A good
something,
example is
and
Obito. Obito
you
just
know,
reacts to everything because he's faster than everybody.
and that
Yeah.
or even pain.
Pain as
Like
well.
yes, I know the link vision, but he still has to have
Yeah.
enough reaction
He's so
speed.
fast
And guess
that
what? Kakashi did the same thing to
yeah.
the robot pain. That's something Kakazu couldn't
He's so
dodge.
fast that
You
point
know,
blank range he's reacting to
so
people like right in their
So like
face.
yeah, so
Yeah.
from behind, that's not an excuse either. And then like I said, once again, the whole no blind spots thing. So Kakasu with him losing to regardless if you think base Naruto or baby QB Amp Naruto, doesn't matter. It's still bad. Okay, and also struggling against Kakashi, and then also being stated verbatim that he only needed Kamui. There's just no way you could put Kakasu there.
No,
So
he's a lower tier Akatsuki member. Yeah.
Do you think though that he was okay? So I do know that it's probably not seen or shown, but or like noticed a whole lot, but from I rewatched the fight multiple times, mainly because I rewatched and also looked at manga panels because I believe the source material goes above all other versions, and I tried to like make sure because I heard that the long drawn out, well, not drawn out, but the Taijutsu exchange between Kakashi and Kakuzu was anime only. I did find like short snippets of pieces of the taijutsu exchange in the manga, but I don't believe the whole thing was in there. And based off of
What
the
about Shikamaru? What about your thoughts on Shikamaru being able to go blow for blow with Hit On and Koksu technically as well, and keeping pressure on them?
mm,
The
And
fact
I
that
I get
would
what you're saying. Like you don't like the whole anime because you probably don't consider it canon. You want to stick to the manga. That's fine. But like with Shikamaru, like obviously it's not Kakashi, and we know Kakashi should be able to fucking come on. Like he should be able to shit on Shikamaru. Yeah, Shikamaru can be able to deal with both of them by himself. Okay, when he pulls up on them again and pressure them with shadow possession, paper bombs, you name it.
yeah,
yes
and I
I
mean Kakashi doesn't even use MS, and he's still relative to Kakuzu. He
Yeah,
says that verbatim. So Kakashi's definitely
would
not at that point
mm,
near even Sasuke's level, and Sasuke's not Kisame's level. So
like the only
definitely
time
not
Katsu
pain.
even lands hits on Kakashi is when he gets behind him to create
Yeah.
enough of a time interval to just to get the upper advantage. But that's the same thing Kakashi does to him, and the same thing Naruto does to him.
Yeah, there's like a
And I mean, so they're
there's
shown,
blatant relativity, and then that's
yeah,
it.
it's
And then a
blatant
stronger
relativity.
Kakashi gets just ass whooped by one pain, and that pain is easily, casually just toying with him and just flicks a nail at him to take him out.
mm,
It's not even close. So, and that's MS Kakashi,
mm,
by the way.
Pain blitzes him. Like he does them
Easily,
all on
easily.
the wall, and then like to where he can't go anywhere.
Yeah,
And then what he does is he stabs him before he can land the Raikiri. So he blitzes him, and then controls his chakra to make him miss and just moves his head. Like
a stronger Kakashi gets his ass whooped by a pain. Pain's not even
so,
trying. He's toying with him. He's just playing with
yeah,
him.
exactly. Like I don't know, man. Like I get it, like of how you could try to like maybe do something for Kakuzu, but it's to me it's very crystal clear that he's shown very very relative to base Naruto to even Kakashi. Not only that, if you even look at it further, Asuma was relative as well to Hit On, and the same Hit On that could also be relative to Kakashi, which is impressive because yes, there's a statement of him being slow, but guess what? It wasn't slow enough to where
mm,
Kakashi was able to deal with him instantaneously. Like he was forced to block everything and deal with Kakuzu's attacks at the same time. Like if Kakuzu was drastically faster than Kakashi or way more powerful, he should have just killed him. That didn't
Yeah.
happen, you know. So
For a little thing that I do use to like that I have found at some points to say like, oh, I don't think the masks scale to Kakuzu's speed at all because they are barely able to dodge a lightning strike from its own lightning mask. The fire and wind ones barely dodge it, and Kakashi's able to easily run straight to it. Choji and Ino can't. Um, and then there's the shoot, I forget which where at the end of the fight it was, but when Naruto jumped back to try and do the Rasen Shuriken again, grabs base Naruto and does the thing where he's about to like rip out his heart by wrapping his tendrils around him. And there's the thing where he gets Kakashi, and Kakashi with his um, uh, wires. I don't think that like the problem with Kakuzu is that him along with Sasori, and I would say that probably Kisame fit in this weird mix where we aren't given a whole lot of fights or details about them to say definitively like where they fit because the only attack that pierce that the attacks that go through Kakuzu are a durability bypassing one and a attack that counters his diamond armor. And then you also have like the weird stuff with his speed
what do
with
you
the
what do you mean with the whole
details.
durability thing? I'm confused on that.
Yeah. It,
Like,
I
are you saying he only got hit because it was due to hacks?
no
It's not
like
durability hype bypassing because the Rasen Shuriken
Yeah.
did nothing to the third rate Kage, so it doesn't bypass durability.
Yeah, and not only that,
uh
a massive right, the Sage Art, massive rise in Shuriken did nothing to Edo Madara as
Yeah,
well.
So it doesn't bypass
So
durability. Is if you lack
yeah, yeah.
the if you lack the adequate durability, it's gonna hit you and hurt you. The third Ikage, it didn't do nothing to him, but the Kakuzu got fucked
Do
up.
you think Do you think the lightning cloak thing was more based on the needles than Madara's
Well, no, because it's the
No,
ability?
elemental weakness. It's he's literally tanking his elemental weakness, something Kakuzu couldn't even do. To
yeah,
light,
that doesn't bypass
like the
durability.
third Raikage
That's not
has
the case.
lightning armor, and he gets hit by KCM Rising Shuriken. Not even
Yeah.
safe him, KCM, and he licks his fingers.
There's instances where it doesn't affect somebody, so it's not durability bypassing. Also in
So
the manga,
if you have enough chakra, you can negate
yeah,
your elemental weakness,
and
basically.
also in the chakra, I mean in the manga, it does show Kakuzu turning his head, and he just fails to react. By the way, it shows
Yeah, yeah,
the exclamation points over his head, and he gets hit by it in
yeah.
the next panel. So he just doesn't. He
Yeah.
fails to react because he lacks the speed. So
And to engage in the other points you made, 'cause I didn't mean to stop you. You were making a lot of points, and I didn't want to like forget. But the
Yeah.
other points that you made with the whole him getting Choji, Ino, and Kakashi, that was just an off guard moment. So basically,
Yeah.
Kakuzu basically he goes into his next transformation because he has his base, you know. Then he does
Hmm.
his first transformation, which his tentacles get faster. Because what happens is he transforms, and the tentacles get faster, and they grab Ino, Kakashi, and and Choji, and then Kakashi even says verbatim, like, "Oh shit, he's faster now." So like he was just caught off guard by the speed increase, but that doesn't mean anything because all Kakashi had to do was just use Raikiri and cut it off, just like he did when he had Naruto. He could just cut that shit off.
Hmm.
And also with the fire style coming, so he could have just cut it off, done a water style, and then got Choji and Ino out of the way, or he could have just done Kamui and then Kamui and Kakuzu and killed him. He even says if Naruto and Yamato didn't show up, he would have just resorted to using Kamui. So like that's not a guarantee that he just skills over whatever. That was just a moment where he just had the upper hand, just like the other moments that were similar. But with this particular moment, it actually wasn't off guard because he had
Hmm.
like a substantial speed increase with his tentacles, and Kakashi just didn't expect that. You know,
What do you guys think about when Kakuzu was laying down after he got stabbed by the Chidori and Kakashi has his three Tomoe out and Chidori, which I believe there's a statement about multiple things about how they both increase his speed.
Yes,
Um,
it's stated by Minato verbatim. It does increase speed, but the only problem is the quantification aspect of it. And from what we've at least seen, that it's not like a massive speed amp. I feel like that's kind of safe to assert. I don't know about how you feel with
mhm.
that as well, Jay.
yeah,
And the reason why is, when we look at Shidori, okay, yeah, it makes you faster, but not fast enough to blitz somebody, which is blatantly shown when Kakashi fights a
yeah,
Jonin.
and it doesn't matter
Okay,
anyway because a stronger Kakashi with MS gets his ass whipped by Pain, so it doesn't really matter.
exactly. He does the
Yeah,
same thing Shidori, and Pain just deals with it effortlessly.
with MS,
Um,
so it doesn't matter.
and,
Uh,
and regardless, Pain also does a similar feat with the robot passive Pain, which is tremendously better actually. Because yeah, Kakuzu lost a heart, but his body is full mobile and he can still move.
yeah,
While the robot got fucking hit by a lightning Raikiri clone, then smashed to pieces by Choji's fucking not Choji, by his father's fist, and was still able to move fast enough to
Mhm.
intercept and get in front of Kakashi. Exactly what Kakuzu did, but he just couldn't grab him or kick him or do anything because he had no like what he was like missing like his arms and I think he had like what one leg? I don't fucking know, but like he was fucked up, and he was still able to do the same feat that Coxey did, but with more actual physical damage to his body.
yeah,
So it's
Mhm.
just that doesn't really help. And regardless, even if that was to be granted, the speed amp from Shidori isn't massive because, like I said, when you see him use it against the Jonin would have killed Kakashi, but since Minato teleported and saved him, Kakashi still gets cut, but he didn't die at least. And Minato's like, hey, yeah, the speed's impressive, the power is great, whatever. Okay, but the problem is, you're basically vulnerable to attack because the person, if they're at similar scaling or speed, they could just maneuver out of the way or counter effectively with whatever they have. You know, so
Yeah.
like, so clearly it's not like a mass. In another example, then you see Sasuke against Naruto. Naruto goes one tail, whatever. He does
Mhm.
CM2, which is 10 times, right?
Mhm.
Then stacks a Shidori, which is even more ample speed, right? But yet he
Mhm.
still couldn't speed blitz Naruto and was still an
Yeah.
equal like level. So the amplification for Shidori isn't massive. Yes, it does
Mhm.
increase speed, but not to the point where you can just speed blitz.
Yes,
Yeah.
That's just not.
definitely not enough to say that Kakuzu's above Pain or Kisame. It's not even close.
And exactly, and that too. Like Itachi reacts to it effortlessly. Yes, I know it's Sasuke, but he does. Uh, Itachi reacts to Kakashi's Raikiri as well. He just jumps out of the way. Like it's strong, but it's not like that broken.
Yeah. All right, I'll let you say one more thing if you want to say your piece because we've been at it a while.
Yeah. Yeah, I got you. I got you. Yeah, the whole thing with the tier list thing that I'm doing for the Akatsuki, I'm mainly concerned about like for one Kakuzu mainly because I don't know how to scale like the two tails, attack speed and all that sort of thing. I mainly get troubled with like, okay, how do you quantify like a tail boost? Because that would also help figure out how strong Yugito is, because then you would have to decrease the speed of her attack on Killer B, and then you would also have to like figure out, okay, if that's like where she is there, then like, okay, then we do that multiplier with Matatabi, like to because KCM2 does destroy all the tailed beasts around them, absolutely wrecks them, smashes them around. Killer B, I think that he does scale to like KCM1 in speed, and yes, he does block the attack from Yugito, but then there's that. Yeah, I just think that like the whole Kakuzu thing gets very messy, especially then you have like characters like Kisame who also have like this weird mesh with their scaling of like how do they even put together. And, yeah,
Yeah, so
and then
I'll say this before I end this, like before I move on. So it's really not that weird. Kakuzu just doesn't scale that high. Also, the tailed beasts aren't equivalent in power clearly, as Nine Tails overpowers like six Jinchuriki simultaneously, as evident by the warp. So Yubito or the two tails just scales much below Naruto or Killer Bee for that matter. Kisame bodies Killer Bee going all out, so that's enough to scale Kakuzu above. Kisame above Kakuzu. Kakuzu just doesn't scale anywhere near those guys, unfortunately. He fails to react to Rasen Shuriken Naruto. It's in the manga as well. It shows him his head turning and him being aware of him about to be attacked, so he wasn't caught off guard. That's not correct either. So simply put, he just doesn't scale that high. There really isn't nothing for him
And
empirically unless
then
you speculate.
not only that, just to tag that further, like yes, he can react to the pulse strike that's being thrown at him, but if you in the manga and the anime, right after he reacts, he just gets slammed into the ground and he's dealt with immediately.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like it's not like he's scaling to the two tails and going blow for blow, or like he's fucking scales over it and blocked it and then just
hmm
punches it in its face and sends it flying. That's not
yeah,
happening. He blocks it,
yeah,
he reacts, has enough reaction speed bare minimum, blocks it, and then gets slammed into the ground and then hit on even
hmm
further states like, oh shit, now it's just me basically. I'm like a rat in the cage and he's hiding behind a wall. You know what I mean? Like if
yeah,
Kakuzu and Hinon could just go blow for blow with this thing, they'd be doing that. But that was never emphasized or shown or anything. Okay. And then like I said, if you're gonna make the assertion even try to scale him to two tails, which is just not there at all, he gets bodied by the two tails.
yeah,
Okay. Like, okay, then why is he struggling against fucking Jonin or Naruto or other people or Shikamaru, okay, which have way less fucking striking power than the two tails? Like that it just doesn't make any sense. Like it's just there's clearly contradictions and confliction. And then what, like at the end of the day, what we do know with his diamond morph armor, that could have been enough to help cushion the blow. Also, with chakra control, you can utilize chakra to amplify your body as well, which is basically anything anyone else can do to perform superhuman feats. So there's many ways of how that could allow him to be able to, hit the blow at first, but he gets slammed to the ground, and we know he's like made of tentacles and all that weird shit.
yeah,
He's not known for durability, which is why whenever he does get hit, he like his body goes into all that weird tentacle shit. Like
hmm
so basically with that being said, when he got slammed into the ground, he's probably like nothing but fucking spaghetti, in there or whatever. And all fucked. But obviously since he's immortal, You know, he can get back up, whatever, and that's it. And the fight continues
Yeah.
on.
So
So it's just, it's that
yeah.
simple.
So yeah, I guess we'll end it there
Mhm.
because we've been at this for like a half hour. But appreciate you
Sorry.
asking. No, it's all good. Appreciate you
Oh, you're
asking
good,
though,
man.
and
Yeah.
hopefully
I
that gives some enlightenment. I don't know.